Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another week. I'm Braxton Huggins with Texas Hunting Lease Listings. Really excited today. We got Caleb with Methvin Outdoors. Caleb, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So, a little bit about Caleb. He's a wildlife and outdoor photographer here in Texas. Caleb, how did you get into wildlife photography? What's some of your background?
Man, it's just I grew up hunting all my life. I've been an avid hunter. My dad got me into it when I was young, and I've always wanted to do something with that. And I didn't have land growing up, didn't get born into money, so I thought the best way that I could get into it is photography. Anybody can go out there and buy a camera. You just have to have the want to do it. And taking pictures of hunts and places that I go all the time, it made sense. And I've just started, and it's already seems like it's going to be a pretty good deal for me.
Have you run into any challenges yet with being an outdoor and wildlife photographer? Your equipment not working, animals not showing up, the elements. What are some of the things that you kind of prep for before you go out on a big shoot?
Yeah, with your camera, it's always about, your lighting. Lighting's a big factor. And when you're hunting, lighting is not always in your favor. So working around your lighting, making sure that you have proper angles on animals, and then really making sure that your hunter that you're with follows through. I just recently was on a hunt with one of my best friends. First hunt he's ever been on. So of course, I'm amped. That's my whole premise is, I want to capture someone's, lifelong moment, especially their first one. And this doe came in 20 yards, and I told him, hey, these does, they duck. When you're pulling this bow back, it's going to pull. That doe's going to duck. And sure enough, he pulled back, slung an arrow, and all we heard was a slam. And I've got my camera out, and I'm like, man, what was that? And zoom in, and he smacked the feeder behind it. And that deer took off. And so, that's a challenge in itself. But, really, when it comes to like the photography side, getting the perfect shot, having an animal, line up where you can get a good shot at it. It's not only about hunting the broadside shot, but you got to have the proper shot for an animal to get a good picture of it as well.
Yeah. We were talking a little bit earlier, kind of off air, and you said something about, being able to capture people's first experiences hunting, right? And I think that a lot of us, whether you're an outfitter, whether you're a friend, you're not selling the hunt, you're selling the experience, and being able to, highlight that and be able to capture that moment, whether it be in video form and photo form, or even in written form, is something that I think a lot of us might take for granted. So that's, awesome that you're able to capture that, in the ways of using your camera. Like that's really, really cool.
Oh yeah. What makes it great is that once in a lifetime moment's now forever.
Right.
You can sit there and talk about your hunts all the time, and you and I both do that on a daily basis, but being able to actually show somebody like, no, this was the hunt, and you've got it from start to finish. That's an awesome thing.
Yeah. So do you have a favorite photo or kind of a favorite memory of hunting growing up, or even, here late?
Man, honestly, my favorite photos are my Colorado trips. There's no better view than, being in the mountains of Colorado. We go up to Crested Butte once a year in September and try and chase elk. Really, it's all just a whole lot of hiking. It's a glorified hiking trip. But, my just taking pictures of the mountains, the West Elk Mountains and stuff like that. It's a breathtaking view. For the past 3 years, we haven't got something, but every year it's memories that I'll never forget. Hunting wise, I've never shot, a Muy Grande, but everything that I've taken is a great memory. I've sat in on a few people's, first harvest, and I personally think that means more to me than, me getting something.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I guess my favorite memory is just my first deer, hunting with my dad in Sonora, Texas. We're sitting in a stand, and I had no idea what was going on. I was just hunting with my dad, and this 8-pointer came out, and he was like, hey, get the gun. So, I pick it up, hand it to him, and he's like, no, you're shooting it. And that buck fever set in. I just,
Oh, I'm sure.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
it looking back, I was, reminiscing and looking at some of the pictures of my harvest over the years. And, unfortunately, we didn't get to capture my very first harvest. It was just a small spike up here in North Texas. And I don't know, I was not very old by any means. But then I found a picture of my 9 point that I took with my dad, and being able to see that and be able to have that and kind of reminisce and look back on it was definitely cool for me because, again, going back to the memory, going back to the experience, and being able to identify that, I had this opportunity to go hunt with my dad, and now that I have two boys, I'll be able to show that to them whenever they're of age. So it all kind of comes full circle. But yeah, kind of share a same memory there.
oh yeah.
Well, cool. So how can people get in touch with you? I know that you got a lot of gigs coming up. You got a lot of things in the works. You do a lot of work with guides and outfitters and ranches. What's the best way for people to get involved?
Man, the thing that's been most helpful for me is social media. I've gotten the most bookings through Instagram, and it's just Methvin Outdoors on Instagram. You can follow me there. You can follow me at Caleb Methvin, and then on Facebook it's Methvin Outdoors. That's been my go-to for people. Actually, I think every ranch that I've been in contact with has been through Instagram, and it's been easy for me to kind of pick out which places I want to go to because Instagram's nothing but pictures. So
Right.
you go on there, see what they're posting. It's like, hey, I can help
better.
out. Yeah. So, reach out to me through Instagram and Facebook. I mean, we live in a society where everyone always has their phones on them, so I'll get those notifications for sure.
Yeah, for all those watching, later on, I'll go ahead and drop Caleb's information in the comments, so it'll be right there and accessible for everybody. Caleb, really appreciate the time.